Hey, good morning and congratulations for taking the first step to solving your slow money blues. My name is Doug, retired U.S. Marine and two-time combat veteran turned entrepreneur at your service. Today's episode is Magic Monday. Magic, not Monday, but Magic Money. I'm super excited to be with you guys once again. Take my spectacles off. So hey, did y'all like that new intro? If y'all like that new intro, hey, just do me a favor. Hey, wherever you just go to @SlowMoneyBlues and let's say, hey, Doug, we really like your intro. A big shout out to our graphic design and videographer team. They are doing great work. I love you guys so much. Thank you for the support. Also, once again, big shout out to all of our fans over in France, as well as in the good old US of A. It has been quite a busy summer for a lot of people. And I hope that your summer is going very, very well for you. It's going very, very well for me. I'm super excited about to head out of town and go and have some fun with some family and friends. And we're going to have a great time. I might even give y'all a little shout out about, what we talked about or what we did over the weekend, but we're going to have a lot of fun. So listen, if you have any questions or anything like that, just visit slowmoneyblues.com. We actually are revamping our website, so don't do that. But I think we'll put the button back up there to make it very easy. If you have any questions, you used to be able to hit a button and just click submit. But I just remembered, hey, look, the web design, like, hey, look, we changed the stuff around, so you can't do that. But you can submit your questions by going to IG, Facebook, or Instagram, IG, Facebook, or Twitter. Use the hashtag Slow Money Blues, right? You can also follow, like, and share and submit your question there as well. And hopefully we'll be able to answer. But hopefully this particular episode we'll be able to answer a lot. So like I said, today's episode is Magic Money. And the three things that we're going to be talking about today is how to help you create magic money. So I want you to definitely stay tuned in for that, because everybody needs some magic money in their life. And I'll tell you about my latest venture, although I'm going to give you these tips and stuff like that. But before we get started, as always, did you do last week's homework? And hopefully you did. If you've been on this freedom journey with me, then you will know for sure that I'm always working on several projects, meeting with all types of people to see how we can do joint ventures and partnerships and stuff like that to create more freedom for us and just continue to win. And man, there is nothing like winning. But I don't just like winning. I love winning, because if you like something, it's kind of a take it or leave it proposition. But if you love something, that means you cannot live or breathe without it. So I love winning. So last week's homework was automate as much of your business process as possible. Now let me just do a mini deep dive. When I say automate, literally you put your whole system on autopilot, where you have to do as little as much as possible to continue to generate magic money automatically. That's an automated system. And then what you want to do is you go in to optimize it. To get all the details for what I just shared with you, go back and listen to and watch last week's episode. And then you will learn all about that whole automation thing. I did a deep dive in that and just gave you some really, really awesome tips on what you should do. Now, of course, question number 2 is, did you say your morning mantra? If you're not saying your morning mantra, if you're not talking to yourself, you're listening to someone else. Now, it's good to listen to other people, but it's better to talk to yourself. So let's do it together. I state your full name, take 100% responsibility for my actions and decisions. I refuse to blame others. If I do, I give away all of my power, authority, and principles and promises given to me by God. That's God. So that's a very powerful thing. I said it this morning while I was looking in the mirror, and I have recorded it on my smart device, and I listened to it, and it just gets me wired up and fired up and ready to go, because I have to understand one thing. Listen, nobody is in control of me. I am in control of me. And so when you say that, it just reaffirms and confirms that, and then you'll start making better decisions. I promise you that. Now, did you listen to the Monday sneak peek preview? If you did, congratulations. If you didn't, you don't have to listen to it now, but please do listen to it and share it with about 5 or 10 of your closest friends and people that are in your inner circle. This is today's question, and then we'll talk about our sponsors, because if I don't, I'm going to get in some trouble. Do you believe in magic money? Yes, no? Or you say, what? Doug, magic money, what is that? Well, that's what we're talking about today, is magic money. And so I promise you, I believe in magic money. Is so awesome. And I'm just really excited about today's show, because a lot of people may want to have magic money in their life. You need magic money in your life, and you deserve magic money in your life. And when you get magic money in your life, I promise you, you'll be like abracadabra, and it'll just magically appear. So when I was a kid, I'm not kidding, I love watching magicians perform tricks. And it was amazing to see the simplicity as well as the ease at which they tricked you with their sleight of hand. There is a lot of trickery that is going on right now. So if magicians can make something disappear, can they also make something reappear? Now, if you've ever been to any magic show, if you've been to one in person, or if you've actually watch it on television, you know that you say, well, if I'm there in person, they can't trick me. But I promise you, even while you're watching right in front of them, just like you're watching me live on this camera right now, they can trick you with the sleight of hand. Don't ask me how they do it, but I was always intrigued by it because they could do that. So let's get personal. Like magic, this is funny. Being broke is an illusion. It's only what you can't see that reveals how and why you are broke. Question. And if you can answer this, then that means you already have magic money, right? And you already have automagic money. How is money made? Well, that's a great question. And now, hey, let's first give a big shout out to our sponsors. As always, LIINKY and BIGNETDOMAIN, they've been rocking with us for not so many, but for, since season 3 and now going to season 4, we're super excited about that. So if you are a solopreneur, dadpreneur, or mompreneur, or a side hustler, or a part-time hustler, or whatever label you want to put on yourself, the title you want to put on yourself, I highly encourage you to sign up for a free account. There's no credit card required, right? And you get a free day 7 trial. Just go to LIINKY.com. That's spelled LIINKY. It's one link and unlimited possibilities. If you want to see exactly how it works, go to LIINKY.com/Slow Money Blues, and you'll see our account that we set up. And it's really, really easy. So when I'm out and about, I can say, hey, go to LIINKY.com/Slow Money Blues. I just tell people, hey, look, go to SlowMoneyBlues.com. They're one of our sponsors. So when you sign up, it's great. I'm going to see if I can entice them to extend it so it can be like for our ardent listeners. If I say, hey, look, go and give us a shout out review. If you give us a shout out review, I might give you a 30-day. I might be able to talk to them and give you a 30-day free trial offer. But that's just for the people that, one, listen to us, that share, and also join our private Facebook group. Cool? That sounds like a winner chicken dinner. Now, our other sponsor is BIGNETDOMAIN.com, where the net just got bigger. As I always say, and I know I sound like a broken record, but what really still amazes me is that in the 21st century, in 2022, it is July the 12th. We are in Q3, and people still are having a digital dilemma because they don't know how to build a website. They don't know how to do e-commerce. They don't know how to do email marketing. They don't know how to do hosting. They don't know how to make a website. They don't know how to do social media marketing, advertising. So if you have any of those issues, just go to BIGNETDOMAIN. When you check out, use promo code BIGNET and you receive a savings. So that's BIGNETDOMAIN, where the net just got bigger. Go and overcome your digital dilemma today. So let's jump into these 3 things that help you create magic money. And if you've been rocking with me for some time, you know that all money is made, because that was a question here also, with your ideas. So if you're watching right now, just point to your brain, your ideas. Now, a lot of people have a lot of amazing ideas, but what I've discovered is that those people, although they have amazing ideas, they do not know how to take those ideas and turn them into profitable revenue generating solutions. And that's what we want to talk about today. So your idea hopefully should turn into our first point, a product or a service. Now, there are strategic advantages to both, and there's pros to both and there's cons to both, right? If you have a physical product, right, where you have to literally like ship something, like for example, I bought these little things right here from Amazon. This is a physical product. Understand, you have to warehouse the product. You have to be able to ship the product. And if the customer doesn't like the product, then you have to be able to return the product. Or let's just say you have a clothing business. The same thing applies. And this all applies for physical products, and particularly if it's just strictly online. If you have a brick and mortar and it's a product, and let's just something really simple like coffee, for example. Well, typically when people come to the shop, they want to purchase the coffee, right? But still, you still have this whole logistical thing where you have to still get those raw materials to the coffee shop. So even if it was just purely coffee beans and some sugar and some creamer and some other little fluffy things that you want to add so people can have a better experience at your coffee shop, you still have to understand those inputs and those outputs. And then you have to look at the demand of it. Like, what is our number one seller? Do they like the large, medium, or small? Do we just do one size coffee? Do we do 3 types? Either way, it's a product. And at the end of the day, it is your responsibility to know your numbers when it comes to your product. And products, the thing that can interrupt, what can interrupt your product? Actually getting you the end product to your consumers. You have to understand and know all of those things. And so if you are not the person that's actually, like it's not organic, like you're not growing your own coffee beans and you have a vertical business, then and you're doing everything. So you're like growing them, you're harvesting them, you're shipping them, you're doing everything. That's called a vertical business, right? But many of us, we have what we call strategic partnerships, and we have a horizontal business. So we may get all of our raw materials from another business, and then they end up with us so we can actually get them to our consumer in a very simplified way. But there's obviously a lot of moving parts. And so with a physical product, it requires some technology. But if you had a physical product, you wouldn't necessarily have to have like a whole lot of, like something. You wouldn't have to have as much of a digital asset. You wouldn't have to have a robust website or anything like that. You could just say, hey, look, you can get all of our stuff right on Amazon. Or if you have a partnership with Walmart, you can get our physical product right there. If you have it, and you can come and get it from us as well in our brick and mortar. Now, if you have a service-based business, that means that somebody is calling you up and they need something. Let's just be real simple, like consulting, for example. This is a service. Or you say, hey, look, I'm a business consultant. What I do is I specialize in doing SWOTs, which is basically a business analysis where we talk about your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This is purely a service base. You're probably going to have a lot of technology, and the reason being is because chances are because we live in a very busy world. People say, hey, look, well, can we just do this virtually? And understand that COVID-19 really revealed how much we really need to have technology in our business models, even with a product or with a service. Because even people, when they had a product, with a lot of people, like Zoom really blew up. A lot of people, like, they still wanted to buy stuff because they knew they couldn't get that product in person. What did they do? They said, hey, look, let's start selling our stuff virtually. So make people feel like they're there, but they're really not there. So with the service-based business, like I said, you're probably going to have more technology, because this is how you're getting this information out to the world. And listen, you could have a brick and mortar where it's still a services-based business. For example, let's talk about insurance. Insurance is absolutely a service. So you're not getting anything physical, even if you had a policy like it is, but it's still yet a service. So it's not like a physical product where you're saying, hey, look, insurance, like this cup, you're not using insurance. Insurance is used for a very specific thing. If you have an accident, or if you have an incident in your home, you call up your insurance company, right? And what do? They ask you some questions, and then before you know it, somebody comes out, an adjuster or somebody comes out there, and they'll do an inspection or whatever, and then they'll say, okay, this is what we estimate the damage of the cost of the damage, and then they cut you a check. Right? That's how it typically works. A services-based business, even if you're in consulting, it kind of works the same way. They say, okay, look, how about we do some like free consultation, a 15 to 30 minute, just to find out a little bit more about you. They may have you fill out some survey or questionnaire or assessment or something like that. And then they do, a follow-up with you or whatever the case may be, so they can set a baseline. But nevertheless, you don't have to do any of that stuff belly to belly, and they may not be giving you a physical product, right? In a sense that it's like, here, I can use it. For example, a business plan. A consultant helps you with your business plan. Although it is a physical product in the sense that it's on paper, it's not it's more of a service that was rendered to you because you have to actually just take the words off the paper and actually execute the plan. So after you create a product or service, then you want to be able to what? Sell the product or service. And what are we talking about? We're talking about how to create magic money. You have to sell the product or service. Now, you can sell it. You can sell a secret, right? But you can't sell something that no one knows anything about. And it could be like a solution to like one of the most difficult problems in the world. So you have to get out there and you have to what we call marketing advertise. To make it more palatable, just say share. You want to share your solution with the world. If we get on the sales side of it, you have to look at selling your product or service. Look at it strictly through the lens of how much did it cost me to produce this product or service and offer it to the end customer. So whether that customer is an individual, whether that customer is another business, or whether it's at the enterprise level where you're doing something on a regional level, or if you're doing something on a national level, or if it's multinational. And that's going to tell you like basically what your inputs have to look like in order for you to be able to solve this many problems. Now, this is what's cool about if you have a digital business and it's automated. You don't have to really interact with your customers as much. I didn't say not interact with them at all. I just said you don't have to interact with them as much. But what you're really trying to find out is what is the delta between all of these inputs, what it costs me to create this product or service, as well as market and advertise it and get it to the customer, and then how much am I charging the customer for this product or service? That's the delta. That is where when you in totality, we have revenue, but the delta is going to determine whether you're in the red, right, which you're accumulating losses, or if you're in the black where you're profitable, and hopefully that leads to a sustainable business, which now you have created this thing called magic money. So we're talking about create a product or a service, and then you have to sell the product or service. And we talk about selling a product or service, you're really talking about marketing, advertising. So how are you going to do this? Are you going to do it by word of mouth? By the way, word of mouth is still the best way to sell any product or service because it costs you $0, right? Or if you're going to do it organically using digital media, for example, like let's just say Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Google, all of those things come into play. I will give you a big tip, and I want you to do this because so many people are curious about there's a lot of players that are solving the same problem that you're solving, right? So I highly encourage you to create a Google profile. It's absolutely free. It doesn't cost you anything, right? I highly encourage you to do that. Then I also encourage you to make sure that your business can be found with both smart devices, right? With both. So if you have an Apple and if you have like an address for your business because you're brick and mortar, you want to make sure you put that into the Apple ecosystem. And I might do something to tell people something about that because some people don't even know how to do these things, which are very, very simple things. But that is positioning. That's called placement when we talk about marketing advertising. So, and this helps you sell your product or service so that people can find you, right? Now, if you're a digital business, it's very, very different because they are actually getting their services probably from your website, right? Now, if you're doing anything where it's a physical product, but it's digital only, where you actually have another provider, for example, Amazon is drop shipping this for you, is very different because chances are your agreement with them, what they do is they stock your product for you. So you don't have to worry about advertising. There's going to be a split when it comes to those profits and stuff like that. And then you don't have to worry about the returns or anything like that, but you still just have to make sure that you have the correct partners when it comes to doing something like that as it relates to drop shipping. If you want to have basically kind of a automated business where you're doing physical products, but the physical products really aren't yours. You're just reselling someone else's products. So it's all types of ways to sell stuff, right? At the end of the day, you're going to have to do some marketing advertising. So also, thank you for reminding me about this podcast. You can advertise on podcasts. You can advertise on social media. You can advertise on radio. You can advertise on television. And to some extent, all of those things are kind of mashed up. So really what you want to do is you want to be able to drill down to and find out who is actually looking for your particular product or service. If you go into if you have with the Meta now, the Meta Business Suite, you can actually look in the back end of that. It gives you all types of analytics when you're starting to do like some type of advertising, and you can really drill down and focus on people that are looking for other companies that are looking for your product or service that you're selling. And then what's the last step? Well, it's really simple. It's repeat. So this is the deal. Let's just say this is kind of like some bonus stuff right here. You have to repeat that. So you create, you sell, you repeat. That's how you begin to make automatic money. And then you optimize that. Find out the product or service that people want the most. And then you want to slim your product or service product line. You want to slim it down and give them that over and over again. Also, ask questions. Hey, what did you like about this? Or what other problems can we solve for you? Because you already have an existing customer base. And then what you want to do is you just want to simply look at what your you want to be able to look at, what your profit margins are looking like and what does their growth look like. And if you can continue to do that and you can continue to grow, now you have a sustainable business model. And if all things remain constant, where you don't have to add any more personnel, that would be labor, and you don't have to add any more of anything, right? Any more infrastructure if you're a brick and mortar. And then guess what? If you continue to sell more, your revenue is going to increase and your profit margins are going to increase as well. Now, let me tell you about the venture so once you get to this thing called automatic money, most of the times if you want to grow your business, what people would traditionally tell you is reinvest your profits into your business if you want to make it grow. Well, that's what I love about a digital business. I'm talking about stuff that people can just get access to immediately. It's instant gratification. It's because things are going to remain constant. I create a product one time and I can sell it many, many times. I can go back and edit that product. I can rebrand that product. I can flip that product. And it's awesome. And then if you automate it, if you have like a course that you can sell again and again, I created it once, but I sell it again, which is why I love the digital world. It's the easiest way to create a product because it's all based upon creativity, right? And solving a problem and just being able to speak to your target audience. But let's just say when you finish at the end of the day, we'll keep it very simple. You say, hey, look, I'm generating, say $10,000 a month in revenue, but my profits are something like, I don't know, $9,500. Well, what are you going to do with that? This is what I would do. What I do is I take those profits and I put them into a hedge fund. And this particular hedge fund, it pays me 3% a week. Man, does that get exciting to you? It's almost like, well, once you do that, why would you continue to create other digital products and services? Because if you know anything about me, you know that, one, I'm an entrepreneur, right? So because the opportunity is there, at least I have to investigate the opportunity. Then I have to determine whether or not I want to pursue the opportunity. But if you look at my profile, everywhere you go, it's going to say three things about me. One, I'm an entrepreneur. Two, I'm a digital entrepreneur. I'm an investor and podcaster. Now, the reason that the last thing is on there about a podcast, it's really kind of the medium that I use to be able to, to talk to the world. So, and then where does that end up at? Well, it ends up on all of our social media. Then it also ends up on our website. It ends up everywhere. If you Google Slow Money Blues, we're going to come to the top because we're the only one that has that brand name, Slow Money Blues. And if you know anything, if you've been watching the show for some time, is because I know that Slow Money Blues is a horrible, horrible, horrible disease. So what are our major takeaways? I'm glad that you asked that question. If you hang around wealthy-minded people, you too will become wealthy. I'm not kidding. I think I did one bonus episode, or maybe I just added it as a bonus, and I was like, hey, take out the trash. Matter of fact, today is Tuesday. Every Tuesday is trash day. The trash goes out. Nobody stores their trash. Nobody keeps their trash. They throw the trash out. So remember I said that being broke is like an illusion. It's only what you can't see that reveals how and why you are broke. Well, if you hang around broke people, just like hanging around wealthy people, you remain broke and stay broke, and you'll be like in broke hell. Now, I know you don't want to be in broke hell. I know you want to become wealthy. I know that you have goals, and I know you want to create a better life for yourself and for your family or future family. And the way to do that literally is to hang around wealthy-minded people. And I promise you, when you listen to them, you be like, oh man. I did an episode and it was called Crazy Crypto. And I was calling it Crazy Crypto, not because of what was really going on in the market. It was because I was just such a skeptic. But when I did my research and did my due diligence, and my barber shared something with me about how he was profiting in the crypto space, I began to do my own due diligence, my own research, and I got hooked up with these amazing people. Big shout out to Dana. Big shout out to Kevin B. Big shout out to the Colemans. I love you guys to life. Because literally now my money makes money. That's exciting. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So what is your homework for this week? I want you to read this book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. You have to read that book. That book literally has changed my life, and it has changed so many other people's lives. It is literally the first book that I refer to people from a business perspective. It's a real easy read, but really what it talks about is these people who have these great ideas, and then they have the courage to act on those ideas, which it doesn't just change their life. It literally changes generations of lives just because of one decision. So now, this is what I need you to do for me. As always, tell anyone suffering from slow money blues to tune in each Tuesday from 9:30 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want you to follow, like, and share at Slow Money Blues on social media. And don't forget, join our private Facebook group, because then you don't have to do this journey alone. You can do it with other like-minded people. So until next time, I want you to continue to build, launch, and grow your own personal freedom success system. And I won't see you at the top. I will see you over the top. Hey, by the way, shout out to Big Brother Myron. Peace.